In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Hey, man, Spencer Pratt could really win this thing in Los Angeles. I just saw a poll. Everybody's within 3 points. Can you imagine anybody like going out of their way to vote for Karen Bass? At a moment like this, after what L.A. went through, I really don't see that happening. Can you imagine people going out of their way and showing up and enthusiastically supporting, what's his name again? Lance Bass? No, wait, no, Spencer Pratt. Lance Bass is another reality star. Whatever happened to that dude? Anyway, yes, I can see people doing it. And he's made it kind of subversive. Supporting Spencer Pratt is a way to stick it to the system. And that has a certain kind of appeal. I mean, 2016, people wanted to stick it to the system. They wanted to give the middle finger to the establishment, to Hillary Clinton, to everything they told us we were supposed to do. And we changed the world. And I think you're going to see that potentially in Los Angeles. I'm not in L.A., I don't know. I'm not close enough to it to know. I don't have a feel for that town. Even when I'm in that town, I don't have a feel for it. It's so spread out and weird, and I mean the traffic, and I don't know, man. And everybody wants to be in entertainment or knows somebody in entertainment, and it's a very, I don't know. It's not for me. It's not a place that I want to be. But good luck to Spencer Pratt. I admire the hell out of him for what he did. He's doing it for the right reasons, right? This man's motivated. They took away his house. They burned his house to the ground. And he's going for it. Now, on the gubernatorial side, the other guy I'm pulling for is Steve Hilton. He is so bright. I noticed him on the Fox News show a long time ago. And I was like, who is this guy from Britain? I don't care who he is or where he came from. He is speaking the truth. And now we got Tom Steyer, who flirts with trans kids and thinks that's going to get him over the top. You look at how Ronald Reagan brought it home when he was running for governor all the way back in 1966. What a gentleman. Here's Karen Bass. Her closing argument is before that crazy redheaded comedian, the one who held up the Trump head, Kathy Griffin. That's who you make your closing argument with. Wow. We have a society, a culture. I mean, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Ancient Rome. You know what did in the ancient Romans? Giving in to their depravity, giving in to their vices. That's really, my understanding, what brought about the end of the Roman Empire. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to, let's take it from the top, if you don't mind. This is Jill Biden trying to sell her book, this pathetic woman, who's very rich, by the way, you can tell, when you got money, there's a sheen that comes with it. Everything is new. Everything is polished, right? Except the message, except the soul. Everything else is very pretty, very, very buffed. Although she doesn't look very happy. Have you noticed that? There's something kind of sad about her. And yeah, it's interesting. I think they lost it all. They really did. They may have it all, but they lost it all too. All right, let's go back to the MSNBC, or as we call it, MS Now. The First Lady of the United States. Do we really care? I don't really care. Actually, you know what I'm excited about is Nicholas Scelfo got busted. You can't go up to an ICE officer and yell in his face and say things like this about his family. I mean, this is a threat. You're allowed to say all kinds of things. I hate you. You're a jerk. You're a racist. You're this. You're that. You can say anything you want. But the moment you indicate that you're going to take violent action against me and or a federal officer, then you, Nicholas Matthew Scelfo, 27 years old of Brooklyn, New York, are in a lot of trouble. This is what he sounded like the other night. Cut one.
You killed bullshit. My boy. I have your face, mother. You're dead. Dead.
They wonder why the ICE officers wear masks. You know? Hey, one of the problems with this Planter guy, the maniac running for Senate in Maine, PTSD. Not that he has PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but that he used it as an excuse for everything. I'm having an affair on my wife. Well, I have PTSD. I sexually assaulted somebody. Well, I have PTSD. You know, that PTSD thing is a terrible, terrible acronym or abbreviation. It's become an excuse for everybody and everything. And we got a lot of chumps out there feeding into it. The moment you say PTSD, ooh, wow, victimhood is bestowed. No, you don't have PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or as I call it, pretty typical stuff that happens on a daily basis in the military. Okay? Pretty typical stuff on a daily basis. All right? PTSD. What do you say? All right. This is kind of cute. It is a little bit interesting what we find out from Jill Biden in this thing. Hey, actually, forget everything. Marco Rubio is on the Senate, in front of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I sent you a whopper of a SOT a little bit earlier to Justin. And he takes on the whole system. Now, he is the system, but he's also dismantling the system at the same time. The, what do you call it? The USAID, they're still mad about that. They still want to waste money on all kinds of crazy programs, and the money never gets to the people who need it. Can we please? Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Make it work. But we are concerned, or have been concerned in the past, about organizations that sort of have lost their purpose and what they're advancing. And at the end of the day, look, we have a lot of resources. The United States is the richest country in the world. We have the largest government budget in the world, but we don't have unlimited resources. We still have to be able to strategically spend our money. And the State Department, you know, when I took over, a lot of people are like, oh, that's a mess. State Department is not that big. The majority of our employees are local hires overseas. We have, you know, foreign service officers, career civil servants. But compared to some of these other agencies that are out there, we're not that large, and yet we have a global footprint. We're really, other than the Department, I would say beyond the Department of War, we're the only ones that are present almost everywhere on the planet. So we have limited resources, and we have to be able to allocate those resources in ways that are driven by the core mission of advancing our national security. And oftentimes that will mean that things we have paid for in the past, we can't continue to fund. Because there are other things. It might be good, but there might be something else that's more important and even better. Other cases, we may still spend money on a purpose, but we want to be driven not just by, we don't want to be judged just by how much money we're spending on something. We also want outcomes for it. We want to show outcomes. That's been the goal behind these MOUs, these compacts with the 32 countries that we've entered into in a week plan, is we're not just trying to solve the disease problem this year. We're trying to build the local capacity so that 5 years from now, they won't need aid anymore because their local systems can handle it. I'm saying 5 years, some countries may take 10 years. But nonetheless, that's the goal, and it's been very well received.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lee. Senator Merkley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and
Here we
Mr.
go.
Secretary. Good to see you. As Senator Shaheen noted, you've expressed that no one died as a result of the sudden shutdown of AID. And I did ask you last time you were here about that, and I won't repeat all that, but I want to note that the folks who study this at the schools of public health, the Harvard Chen School, the Boston University School of Public Health, estimate that over 500,000 children have died from that sudden shutdown. I want to kind of put a note on that. If you were to walk across this country, you'd see one dead child equivalent every roughly 30 feet. That's the level of carnage. I know you disagree with that, but many experts who are in this field.
Uh-oh. What the hell happened? Got to find out what Marco said to that. He accused him of killing 500,000 children. Are you crazy? Senator Mercury? Wrong. How can you? Wasteful government programs. You killed children. Oh, man, how do they do it? How do you do it sometimes? You know, you got to kind of comport to this certain protocol. I bet Marco just let it run. He just probably blew up on him. We'll find that one and turn it around. I'm sorry you went through that, Marco. He's a good man. And also a testament to, quite frankly, Christianity, President Trump. Nobody but nobody in politics forgives and forgets. President Trump does. He really does. You make peace with your enemies. These guys were at it. These guys were at each other hard. And now that they're friends, now that they're partners, and they're making the world a better place together, I think it's beautiful. And I think it's very, very Christian. All right, let's go back to the Jill Biden thing. We got to get this out of the way because there's a little, some stuff here that may be relevant to my good friend Bill Stevenson, who's still in jail for a crime I don't think he committed. He's accused of killing his wife, Linda. And it's a big story, and that she could go on national television and not be asked about it. It's almost like this is the Soviet Union. It's a very weirdo moment. And this weirdo moment's been lasting about, 15 years now at least? All right, we ready with Dr. Jill Biden? Go ahead. And I want to start it from the top. You'll hear the obnoxious Willie Geist, motor mouth, talk for a mile a minute for, I don't like Jill, but let her speak. Go ahead.
Of the release of her new memoir titled View from the East Wing, which is out today. In it, Dr. Biden chronicles her tenure as First Lady, balancing her public duties with her personal career. She also offers her candid take and behind-the-scenes details of the turbulent final months of her husband Joe Biden's presidency. And Dr. Jill Biden joins us now. Dr. Biden, good morning. Congratulations on the book.
Well, thank you.
We were just talking about this balance of yours being a teacher, as you have been for most of your life.
40 years.
40 years
Yes.
as a teacher, and how you detail in this book that balance really showing itself in moments like teaching a Zoom class on the eve of your husband's inauguration in January of 2021, and then, of course, insisting on keeping your position even as First Lady. Why was all of that so important to you?
Well, I had to be true to myself. I mean, I worked so hard to get my degrees, and took me 15 years to get 2 masters and a doctorate. And that was my life. That was my passion. That's who I am. And so when we got into the White House, I said, I'm going to continue to teach. And they said, I don't know. Are you sure it's going to be really tough? And I said, I'm going to do it. So you better figure it out.
Were some of your own students surprised to see you still in classrooms?
My students are just so cool. I mean, they just took it in their stride. The first day when they come through and they had to put their book bag through the magnetometer, they were, like, what? What are we doing this for? Because they didn't put my name on the roster. So they were surprised. But after that, it was like, okay, Dr. B. And then from then
Dr.
on, after
B.
the first day, I was always Dr. B.
So much to ask you about. You work, of course, out of the East Wing. The title of the book is View from the East Wing.
Yeah, remember that?
Well, I was going to ask you, just reading the title of the book, when you see these images, these photographs of the East Wing thoroughly demolished to make way for a ballroom that the president and some Republicans are now asking taxpayers to fund. When you look at these pictures of the place where you worked and where Rosalynn Carter set up her office, what do you think?
Stop for a second. Oh, my gosh, the history. Rosalynn Carter set up her office. The history goes all the way back to 1978. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Dr. Oz is about to take the podium. My good friend, Dr. Oz. I know some of you guys out there in my super duper MAGA brethren, but you don't understand MAGA. You don't understand Dr. Oz. He's fantastic. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you are taking a risk. Most people don't think about it until it's too late. Summer colds can linger and turn into serious sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick, right before a vacation can really derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is very stressful, and that's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Paks to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook, or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 off with my promo code Greg at urgentcarekit.com/Greg. That's promo code Greg at urgentcarekit.com. Remember, urgentcarekit.com/Greg.
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SaccoFillas.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is the Greg Kelly Show.
Come on, children, your wife, come on, dead. Punch it, my boy. I have your face, mother. You're dead. Dead.
Yeah. You're in jail. Actually, he's already out of jail. Nicholas Scelfo is his name, 27 years old. They put bond at $100,000, my understanding from my experience with the bail bonds industry. He only had to put up about 10%. Hey, why the hell is that car going the wrong way on that street? Who the hell is this guy? What's going on out there? You know, I mean, all right. It's got lights and sirens and stuff like that, but you can't go the wrong way on a one-way street. What the hell is he doing? Oh, I get it. You found a nice parking spot. You see that son of a bitch? He went down the block the wrong way so he could get a parking spot. I'm going to take a picture of that guy's license plate. I am going to make a big deal out of this thing. And I think I'm going to put him up for mockery on the social media. Mockery and ridicule. Okay? Then again, I miss the offense. I miss what he did. All right, do me a favor. Let's go live real quick to the White House. Yeah.
If you ask multiple questions, I'm only going to answer one anyway, so we'll come back. I promise. I talk quickly. Go ahead.
Dr. Oz, thank you. And I actually have two, but, you know, we'll see what you like.
I'll answer one. Pick one.
Well, the first is on most favored nations, the policy. I was hoping that you could explain why the administration thinks it's important to pass legislation codifying these deals. Is the fear that a future president might walk away? And what you make of the congressional pushback? And also on my tragedy derived from Kratom, President Trump has expressed interest. Can you describe the debate within the administration on that?
Let me answer the first one because there's not a big debate on the second one. The reality around the most favored nation drug pricing is the president has dealt with the entire problem for this administration. But these contracts expire after this administration is done. So like so many things the president's trying to do, he's trying to set it up for the next administration so that they don't have to fight the same battle. Now, it is going to be difficult for pharmaceutical companies to pull back. But we still believe it makes sense for Congress to codify what we've been able to achieve because it's been so helpful. Think about the $600 billion of savings to the average American over the next 10 years. It's just a massive number that they voluntarily sort of gave back because the president went after them and said, you've got to deal with this problem.
Well done, Dr. Oz. Imagine that, trying to get something done just for getting something done. It's a wonderful thing and rare, too rare.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I'd like to hear from, let's see here, Eddie. What do you want to say here, Eddie?
Greg,
yeah.
Thanks for being a friend we listen to on the radio, and I have a good Dr. Oz story for you. Before Oprah was his patient.
Is this about your dad? Is this about your dad?
Oh, no, it isn't.
Is it about you? You told me this story before.
Oh, I did. Okay,
Yeah.
about the person that he...
He's a great guy. I know that. He's a great guy. You have told us that story before, even though I can't totally remember it. Give me the gist of it in 15 seconds.
The what?
The gist.
The gist of the story?
Yeah, 15 seconds.
He did an operation on the guy's heart with his latissimus dorsi muscle, put a pacemaker on it, and he looked at me and said, Eddie, I know you. I'm doing it for free.
I love it. I love it. That is a great story. Hey, speaking of Dr. Oz, he's speaking right now, everybody. Let's pump up that volume.
if you're a pharma executive and America's open for business and we're trying to support innovation, saving people from, cancer, autoimmune problems, dementia, all these different, you want to be where the action is. So these companies are coming here. It's actually a brain drain from Europe in particular, but other parts of the world as well, of companies who want to come here. So it's not just that we're already going, it's going to get bigger and bigger and louder. No, the jobs are starting when the first time you hire someone to build a plan for you, we have a job. If you're asking for people with picks and helmets, that's also coming quickly. But again, I've been to facilities that are already under construction, so they're starting, and and the president and I visited a facility in Cincinnati a few months ago that, again, they've already have the facility, they're already running the facility, they're making additional investments to upgrade their program. Yes, ma'am.
Guys, thank you so much. I know this isn't your wheelhouse, but you are speaking on behalf of the White House today. Can you respond to any of the criticism from Republicans on President Trump's decision to tap Bill Pulte, who has no known intelligence experience, as acting DNI?
Well, I think Bill is a great guy. I know him socially. I've not worked with him in his current job, but I do trust the president's judgment. He is a very sharp, quick study of people, their emotional abilities, and their ability to persevere in the face of hardship. So I have confidence in his decision. Yes, ma'am.
Back on Ebola, given the World Cup coming up and millions of visitors coming to the United States, on the U.S. preparation for this, who is in charge of proactive surveillance measures, and what type of surveillance will the United States be doing for visitors coming in? Will that be expanded beyond the DRC, Uganda, and Sudan? Can you describe what is in place, knowing this influx of people coming soon?
So Jay Bhattacharya, who I spoke to this morning, who is our brilliant leader of the NIH, but also CDC now, is running this program. He's got a lot of help from Dr. Heidi Overton and many others at the White House. So it's a well-constructed game plan. They aggressively got into, and they're funding now, a lot of the treatments that are being offered in the DRC and the Kenya facilities, just an extra way for us to take folks who are Americans who need help. But we have very purposefully put up testing tools and mechanisms at the major airports that people will be traveling through. I have great confidence in Jay's ability. He's a brilliant scientist and knows a lot about viruses. He wrote one of the most important papers really describing the true reality of what was happening during COVID early in the pandemic. It got him in the hot water because it was not convenient to hear it, but he's a brave man who will make the right decisions and be transparent about them. In pink.
Just back to the question about Bill Pulte. Congressional statute says any appointee for the position of the Director of National Intelligence shall have extensive national security expertise. What extensive national security expertise does he have?
Ma'am, you're asking me a question that's not in my lane. I'm so focused on making sure Americans are healthy that I have not been looking at what other agencies. MAH, go ahead.
Dr. Oz.
Yellow tie, go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Okay. That was fun. Dr. Oz, just now you said that it should be surprising to people that personal care service attendant is now by twofold the most common job in California and the most common job in New York. The U.S. healthcare industry has been growing rapidly, 7 to 8% annually. It's an estimated $5.3 trillion in growth. Healthcare accounts for about 18% of GDP. Why should people be surprised that in two of the most populous states in the country, a healthcare-related job like that would be a common job when it is, again, one of the fastest growing and continuously growing industries in the U.S.? I mean, what's going on here?
The primary difference between paying for a hernia operation and paying someone to be a personal care service is the reason it's concerning to us. If you're having a hernia operation, you have a scar. So I know you got something, and you have a doctor who is licensed, and you had it done in a facility that's also credentialed and has been inspected. When you get personal care services, it's an unlicensed person in an unmonitored setting promising they did something. That's a lot of handshakes and, finger crossing and hoping that it worked out okay. This is a problem that has been growing for years. It's just gotten now to a crisis mode. It is just difficult to imagine that it's twice as many jobs as anything else. It's not that healthcare jobs aren't important, of course they are. But if we put guardrails around these programs, we'll allow them to thrive. I'm here because I love Medicaid. The president has already said he loves and cherishes Medicaid and Medicare. Medicaid in particular is the ultimate payer of last resort. We cannot allow these programs to be defrauded into a turmoil that they cannot pull up from. And so if we love these programs, we'll make the difficult decisions. Let me pivot from that just to describe what came out yesterday, which is the work requirement rule that our agency, and Dan Brillman and Caprice Knapp did a fantastic job writing this, dealt with a lot of states, but as you know, in the Working Families Tax Cut legislation, which I believe saved Medicaid. And the reason I say that is our actuarials told us we would be spending $5.4 trillion more for this program over the next decade if we didn't deal with some of the legalized money laundering that was siphoning money out of the program. Part of the reason that this is so attractive to states is they could take money in ways that was not designed to be used, paying people along the way so they didn't have to pay for it themselves. I get it. I understand why the governors did it, but it didn't align the president with the governors. With that law, we also had a work requirement rule. Now, what was that? The work requirement was based on concepts that date back from when Bill Clinton was president with the temporary assistance for needy families. When the Democratic administration said the fraud is getting so bad, the abuse so big in these programs, we need to clean them up. We need to get people to try to work. It's a path to prosperity. I hope you share this belief, that we're put on this earth with agency to change our future, change the country's future, to make the planet a better place. We're put here to make a difference. But if you're sitting at home, which is true for the millions of people who are able-bodied on Medicaid, on average, you're spending 6.1 hours watching television or just hanging around. That's not why you're here. So as a path to prosperity, Congress very wisely said, let's get you back into the workforce. Let's require you to get free health care coverage, to be able to work for 20 hours a week, or volunteer to make up the difference if you haven't worked 20 hours, or get an education. Just participate. And so that rule came out. It's good. I think, beautifully written effort to try to define for our nation what your part of the puzzle is. Because if you are going to get something that of value from the American people, there should be some obligation, if you're able to. If you're not able to, if you're disabled, if you're in one of the categories that are well defined in general, not able to work, it's different. But if you can work, you should get up and work again, because that's historically how it always was. In 1965, when Medicaid was created, that was the deal. There were 11 million people in the program. We've perverted that.
We have perverted it. Dr. Roz is so spot on. And I think it's really good for the people. You got to get the hell up. I know it's, hey, I've been there. You know what? If you hang around the house, oh, gosh, that is a terrible cycle. You know, it can really be bad for you. I want to go back to the Jill thing in a second. But first, Joe is in Whitestone. Yes, sir. What is it?
Hey, Greg, I just heard tomorrow is the last flight of the Harrier. They're going to retire it tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's the day in Cherry Point, North Carolina. I knew it was coming. Yeah, thanks for telling me. The Harrier jet. I used to fly this thing. It was basically my office. I would fly the Harrier jet almost every day of my life. It's hard to believe. And you know what's interesting? When I was flying the Harrier, I knew that one day all of that stuff, it was almost inconceivable. Like that I would go years, months without even thinking, well, I don't go that. You know what I mean? That it would one day not be my daily life.
Right.
And it's
an end of an era.
It's an end of an era. So the Harrier jet is this thing that can take off and land like a helicopter, but it's a jet airplane. And it's been replaced by the Joint Strike Fighter. It's been around for many, many decades. It was updated in the 90s, and it was a privilege to fly. It really was. Even though it tried to kill me a bunch of times. It's a very dangerous, tricky aircraft to fly. And I had a lot of fun doing it. Great people in that community, people I'm still in touch with. My friend Jeff, my friend Craig, although I don't talk to Craig as much as I'd like, Seabass, and a lot of other dudes. Just good times and great adventures. So the last Harrier flight will be tomorrow. The United States Marine Corps retiring a jet. They call it the sunset ceremony, pal. The sunset ceremony. How did you know that, by the way, Joe? It's a little bit of an obscure thing. How did you know that?
Well, my dad was World War II Army Air Corps, and I was always into planes, and I actually saw it at Stewart Air Force Base years ago. They had an air show at Stewart, and I actually saw the Harrier, thrust vectoring and all that on it. It's pretty intricate aircraft to fly.
Yeah, it sure was. And by the way, you're flying it. The pilot's flying it. It's not a fly-by-wire. A lot of the planes these days aren't what they seem. The pilot is there with a control stick, and he moves a control stick. Say I want to go left. You're not actually yourself moving the plane to the left. You're telling the computer, I want to go left. And the computer evaluates a bunch of stuff and says, okay, I'll let the guy go left this time. Whereas when I was flying the Harrier, I am physically connected to the control service. I am in control, not some computer that can be hacked by China. You know what I mean? It was a really interesting experience, and I'm glad I had it. Thank you very much. Hey, I got to go back to this Jill Biden scenario, right? She was on the MSNBC stuff. And even they're sick of her, and they're very skeptical. And I understand it gets interesting, but also a little bit pathetic. All right, so let's go ahead. Back to that.
What do you think?
I just think we've lost so much institutional memory. I love the East Wing. I love my offices in the East Wing. When you come to visit the White House, that's where you enter, the East Wing. And the excitement that people would feel as they came in to take the picture with their families. And then what I did, I put the artwork of military children down the hallway and to show what was important to us, to our administration. And then I changed all the older men who were hanging on the wall to first ladies, so that when families went through, they say, there's Hillary, there's Laura. They would recognize the women in the hallway. And I changed the whole tour. I mean, everything was, I'm a teacher. I know that you learn through 5 senses. And so everything was interactive, not just, just a picture on the wall. Because when I got there and I saw kids walking through and then getting on their phone, I thought, no, we can't have that. This is the White House. They should love it. They should know what's in it, why it's there. And because there's just history. There's so much history, and that's what they should learn.
How the hell do you make a picture of Laura Bush interactive? Press this button and she will appear nude. I would interact with that. All right. Otherwise, you know what I mean? It's just a picture of Laura Bush. Give me a break. You made it interactive. How did she make it interactive? Oh, I have an idea. We'll put a plaque underneath and we'll tell everybody what year she was born. I mean, that doesn't cut it. All right, keep going.
That they should know what's in it, why it's there, and because there's just history. There's so much history.
Boring us with the first ladies.
Because, as you know, we don't have civics in school anymore. And,
thanks to you guys.
They needed to learn that and to learn to love the history of our nation.
The demolition of the East Wing is kind of a physical manifestation of President Trump tearing down some of the legacy of government. And specifically
absolutely, Willie. Wow, what insight.
I'm thinking about, and I want to talk about the president's health in a moment, but about the cancer moonshot and how much money was invested in medical research, and mRNA, and now we're hearing, despite some of the pullback and stripping away of money, all these incredible advances that continue to be made in spite of that. What is it like for you and the president to see, and that's just one example, so much of your legacy also being torn down?
It's heartbreaking because I think Joe's whole mission was to make lives better for the American people. And that was his focus. And that's what he did. And so to see, so many food programs cut or health programs cut, or like you're saying, the research, money for research.
Can I say something about the moon? So they started the Cancer Foundation, right? That did nothing. They absolutely paid almost zero money to cancer research, but they paid themselves for executive director, for board membership, for travel, all that stuff. I forgot about that, actually. The great big fake charity they had that just put them, oh gosh, these people are the worst, lining their pockets. All right, now they're warming her up because they're going to get her good. All right, get her ass. I'm sorry. I think this is the last time they try to suck up there. Keep it going.
Really interested in, and it's heartbreaking. A lot of the things that Joe did for the American people.
President Biden was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer that, as you've said, has spread into his bones. How is his health as we sit here today?
Well, cancer is really tough. And I would say he's doing okay. He's still making speeches. He's still on Amtrak a couple times a month, keeping a schedule. But cancer takes its toll. I know every family in America has been touched by cancer. So I think that people can relate to when I say, he gets tired a little more often, but I don't know. It's been tough.
I think some people will be surprised reading the book how early, at least you saw signs that something wasn't right. You say, including in the last year you were in the White House, that he was getting up in the night too many times.
Yeah.
He did go in for his physical in February of 2024. Doctor cleared him of that. There's a scene in this book when you and the president later on the beach and a woman approaches you who's a doctor and said, how did his doctor not catch this? Do you ask yourself that question? Was no one at the time suspicious that he might have cancer in that moment?
Well, I think that the doctors, I felt that we did have amazing health care in the White
but
House.
she screws them over
But
at the
somehow
same time. Somehow. Amazing people, but they screwed up. All right, she's got lots of little petty beefs, right? She's got scores to settle. She's boring and she's nasty. All right, but there is some truth possibly that we can discern when we come back and lots of other stuff. Be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You see these guys who've been going into the sewers all over New York City? I saw a picture of them. I think it's very strange. They look like they are, not doing it on a lark. They look like they have a plan. They're going down there with equipment.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here? Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.